Hello friends, it's Kristie Marcotte. Today I'm sharing some cards I made using From Lizi's Festive Mint paper pack. There are 16 sheets of paper and she has the option of 8x8 size or the 6x6 size. I'll be using the 8x8 size. This paper was part of the special edition Christmas release. There were 2 card kits and also 2 paper collections. And I will have links for all of those in the description box below. For my first set of cards, I'm using a card sketch from the Paper Players. This is number 279. Several of the papers, I believe half of the papers, are double-sided with a different pattern on the back side. For this first card, I have some adorable penguin paper with trees and very faint snowflakes in the background, adding a strip of green polka dot paper. For a little bit of shine, I'm using the Racing Green peel-offs. This is the pinstripe style, and the color matches almost perfectly with that green pattern. But since it is mirror, it does have that pretty shine. I'll wrap those ends around the back and layer this piece on some black cardstock, and then I'll layer it again on some silver mirror cardstock. I'll put my card front onto a card base, and all of my cards in this video are American Standard A2 size, 4 1/4 inches by 5 1/2 inches. For the larger banner, I'm using another pattern paper, light blue, and it has some white snowflakes. I'll cut a fishtail on the right side. Before I adhere that to the card, I will add a scrap piece of the pattern paper on the right side, just to keep it nice and level. And I'll adhere it in place using some liquid adhesive. For the smaller banner, I'm using the same silver mirror cardstock. I'll cut a fishtail on the right side and adhere it on top of that blue snowflake pattern paper. Decided not to have it on the circle since I'm going to be putting a sentiment there instead. The sentiment is from Lizi's Let It Snow stamp set. I've already stamped this out. I used Catherine Pooler's Skylight color. It matches beautifully with the pattern paper in this collection. Layered it on a black circle die cut. I will add a scrap piece of cardstock on the back side, just on the upper portion where it'll go over all those banners. Then I also decided to pop it up using some foam dimension. You could use this collection for Christmas cards, but I decided to just make winter cards. These will be perfect to give to the retirement home in January. I'll write a message inside and have some happy mail for all of the residents. To finish off the card, I'm adding some beautiful sparkly gems, and these were part of the Twilight Christmas Special Edition kit. So there's my finished card, and I did make a total of 4. For the other 2 cards, I used some different pattern papers. The nice thing about the 8x8 size, you can easily get 2 backgrounds using 1 sheet of paper. For card design number 2, the card sketch is from OWH. This is number 184. And if you are interested in any of the sketches I use in this video, I do share all of that information on my coordinating blog post. The link is provided in the description box below, or you can simply head over to KristieMarcotte.com. I'm using some white shimmer cardstock for the background, adding a 3-inch panel of this pattern paper that has a little log cabin and some deer, and all of the trees and the snow have a sealed glitter finish on them, so it's super sparkly. I put a strip of some solid green cardstock on the left. The measurements on this sketch have that strip at 3/4 of an inch, but I decided to do about 3/8 of an inch. I also put a clear silver mirror peel-off right in the center for that little extra shine. Layer everything on this same dark green cardstock. I'll put my card front onto a card base. For the 2-inch strip that goes behind the circle, I used some more pattern paper. It's green and it has some script all over the background. Before I attach that to the card, I will put the scrap pieces of cardstock. So on the right, I'm putting 2 layers, and on the left, I'm putting 3 layers, and that'll keep everything at the same level. I'll adhere it to the card using some liquid adhesive. Since that background pattern paper has all those little areas with the glitter finish, using some liquid adhesive will just help to make sure this piece doesn't come off later. Now instead of the circle that's indicated on the sketch, I'll be stamping a sentiment on a stitched oval die cut. I have it set up in my Mini Misty, inking it up using the Spruce color ink from Catherine Pooler. The sentiment is Warm Winter Wishes, and this is from Jaded Blossoms Hello Winter stamp set. I'll put some liquid adhesive on the back and adhere it on top of that green tone-on-tone strip. To finish off the card, I'll use some more of these super sparkly gem stickers. Put 2 of them in the upper left-hand corner and 1 underneath the sentiment. So there's my finished card, and again, I did make 4. For the other 2 cards, I used some different pattern paper that has polar bears and trees in the background. The polar bear and penguin patterns are some of my favorites in this collection. For card design number 3, I'm using a sketch from Sugar Pea Designs. This is Sugar Sketch number 25. I'll be using 3 different pattern papers on the card. The featured pattern paper has little snow globes, and they're all sealed with some more of that glitter. So there's a deer and trees, some penguins, and also some polar bears. The background paper is a tone-on-tone pattern in a brownish gray color. Almost looks like a wood design. I'm using some more of the light blue paper with the white snowflakes. I did round the corners on that piece. For the small banners that go off to the right, I'm using some solid cardstock. I have some green and then a lighter green color that matches the pattern paper. Just cut a fishtail on the end. I'll put some adhesive on the back. Lay both of those banners out together so I get the position right, and then I'll put that pattern paper piece on top. Then if they're crooked, I can easily straighten them. I'll put a drop of glue to attach both of those green banners and then adhere this piece onto the card. I decided not to have the cardstock layers for the other 2 patterns. I think there was already enough contrast between all the pieces. I'll be adding the sentiment Happy Winter, and this is from Pretty Pink Posh's Holiday Scripts stamp set. I used some intense black ink from Honeybee Stamps. Then to finish off the card, I'll add a few mini circle peel-offs in the white color, putting 2 in the upper left-hand corner and 1 to the right of the sentiment. So there's my finished card, and again, I did make 4. For the other 2 cards, I used some fun plaid paper instead of the blue snowflake paper, and I decided just to leave a sentiment off the front. I can always add the sentiment to the inside of the card later. For card design number 4, I'm not going to use a card sketch this time. A couple of the patterns in the collection have a silver foil finish, and this one is super shiny with all the silver snowflakes. I added that piece onto a scallop rectangle die cut. I'll add my card front onto a card base. I put some ATG tape on the back and also a little bit of liquid adhesive along the very outside edge. Just want to make sure it lays nice and flat. For the sentiment, I've already stamped this out. This is Hello Winter, and this is from the Jaded Blossoms Hello Winter stamp set. I used Catherine Pooler's Bay Breeze ink color. It matches perfectly with that dark teal cardstock. I'm adding some teal mirror peel-offs to the very edge of the sentiment, leaving some of the white border above the peel-offs. I'm using the narrowest width of the pinstripe style. This is the most popular style of Love From Lizi peel-offs. I'll just wrap those ends around the back, put some liquid adhesive on the back of this piece, and adhere it to the lower area on the card. Overall, this is a very simple card design since I didn't want to cover up the beautiful pattern paper. I am adding a stitched banner in the upper left-hand corner, and this is a die from Jaded Blossoms banner die set. To finish up the card, I'll add a few silver mirror mini star peel-offs. Just put a few of them around the sentiment. So there is my finished card, and I did make 4. For the other 2 cards, I used a green and white star pattern paper and layered it on some gold pearlescent cardstock. I could have used a non-winter sentiment since it's stars instead of snowflakes, but I really wanted to make sure I have enough winter cards. For card design number 5, I'm using one of my favorite card sketches. This is OWH number 154. This sketch is perfect for finishing off all those small pattern paper scraps. I've used this sketch so many times, I know all of the measurements by heart. I don't even have to look at it. I didn't want to cut into another full sheet of pattern paper, so I thought I'd pull out this sketch and use some of the scraps. So you're going to see a repeat of all the different patterns. Adding this panel onto some white shimmer cardstock. I'm adding a strip of the green pattern paper with the script in the background. And this is the perfect place to add a sentiment, and you could always put an image where that circle is. But I'll be adding a sentiment in the circle, so I decided just to use some of the leftover pattern paper for this narrow strip. I'm using some of the clear silver mirror peel-offs, putting them along the edge, just for that extra sparkle. Wrap those ends around the back and layer this piece on some green cardstock. And I am following the measurements exactly. I'll put my card front onto a card base. For this sentiment, I've already stamped this out. It's the same Hello Winter Love from Lizi stamp. I did pop it up using some foam dimension. So I'll just remove the release paper and adhere it to the center of those 4 squares. Then to finish off the card, I'll add a few of the mini circle peel-offs in the silver mirror color. 2 in the upper left-hand corner and 1 to the right of the sentiment. And there is my finished card. I did make a total of 4. I wasn't able to get polar bears in all of those squares for the upper left-hand corner, so for one of them I just have some trees. Now here's another look at the 20 cards I made using Love from Lizi's Festive Mint paper collection. This collection is available in the 8x8 and also the 6x6 size. So if you have a preference on what size paper you like to use, there are options. I use the 8x8 size in this video. I do have links provided in the description box if you are interested in any of the products I used in this video. And Lizi also has some other Christmas special edition papers and kits still available. I've included links for those as well. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope you have a wonderful day.